Testing, testing, one, two, three, testing. Yeah. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about what made me start believing in astrology and numerology in general. I know this is a very controversial topic. I know a lot of people don't believe in this stuff, but there are a few things that actually made me start believing in the paranormal or the things that don't seem real because it's woo, it's kind of like spiritual, or some people believe that you can't prove this in the court of law, but I think otherwise because of the experiences I've had myself through readings. What I've learned through numerology is that a lot of the close people around me, they fit exactly what the sign is or what the numerology is, and it's not like this sort of guesswork that most people believe it to be. It's if you were to put another number and another sign to that person, it does not match at all. It does not match. So the reading that I give people, it matches them 90 to a 95%, right? I've given readings to about over 100 people, and most of them have said it's pretty accurate. So that's where this led me to believe numerology is something worth looking into. I've decided to apply numerology myself to see if what it is actually you can use to make money or generate success in the real world. So I opened up my company actually on the 28th, which is the number of wealth. 28 is the number of wealth. So Elon Musk is born on the 28th. Steve Jobs is a 28 life path. He opened up his company either on the 28th, so Apple, or it's a 28 life path. It's one of those, I believe. I'm not going to look into it right now. It's just based off my mind, a memory. So I opened up my company on the 28th, and within about, I would say, 6 months, I started making the top 10% income within my country, which is Poland. Okay, that fast. So you may think it's well, if numerology is real, why didn't it work straight away? It's like, no, it's more to do than just numerology and science and astrology. It's more to do with the work that you actually put in and the time spent. So the longer you spend on that company, the more effort you put into that company, which is astrology and numerology combined. It starts to pay off within time, of course. No, numerology and astrology is not magic. It's time spent plus effort plus numerology, astrology combined. That's the result you'll get. You know. So based on that, I'm gonna explain like the basics of numerology if you don't know already. So everybody has a day born, everybody has a month born, everyone has a year born, and everyone has a life path. So personally, I'm born 6th of August, 2005. So if you're in America, that is 8/6/2005, and if you're anywhere else in the world, that is 6/8/2005. So the basic numerology system is that there are single digit numbers, so 1 to 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and there are master numbers. There are so-called master numbers, which are 2-digit numbers, which is 11, 22, and 33. So those are your so-called master numbers. Master numbers are known to be the old souls. So based off that numerology system, it is commonly believed, or due to common sense, is what they believe, numerologists, is that the reincarnation is very much possible and is existent. So numerology within and of itself, um, is so-called your life paths. So one life path, two life path, three life path, 1 to 9, 11, 22, and 33. Those are your life paths. Those could be your day borns, except from 33, because there's no calendar day of the month 33. There is only day of the year 33. So people born on day of the year 33 have small amount of 33 energy, but they are not 33s, but they have a little bit 33 energy, you can say that. And 11, 22, and 33 are old souls. If you use the reincarnation system, 11, 22, and 33 are the old souls. So you start off as a 9 life path, which is the youngest soul there is, and it doesn't go in the normal mathematical form, which is 1 to 9, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it does not do that in numerology. It starts off as 9, then it goes to 3, and then it goes into numbers that I can't explain. Because of GG33 rules. And the last digit of the single digit, which is the oldest soul of the 1 to 9 numbers, is the number 7. And the number 7 goes into the number 11. So within numerology, 7 and 11 are soulmate numbers, which are the strongest soulmate numbers in numerology. Because once you leave the 1 to 9 system and you go into the master number system, the only way to go through a single digit system to the master number system is to go through the 7. And once you complete the number 7, it goes to 11. Once you complete the 11, you go into 22 and 33. So now I'm going to explain the simple process of how life paths work. So you start off as number 9, which is the youngest soul. It then goes into number 3, but we'll start off with number 9. 9s have adaptability. So I've seen many, 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 many 9s born into good environments and 9 environments, and based off what I've heard, based off what I've seen, is that number 9s, like 2 of my brothers are number 9s, so I know. Whatever society, whatever system, whatever family, whatever society you're born into, you tend to adapt into that. Now, the main thing with number 9s is that 9s actually get better than most people at what they do. So once they adapt, they actually adapt better than the person they learnt off of. You know? So one example I can give is the first major fitness influencer is Ziz, okay? We'll start with Ziz because he's a 9 life path. Okay? So Ziz started off with as a skinny kid. He didn't go to the gym much, he was a nerd. Okay? Then he had this transformation where he realized this internet personality back in like 2011, 2012. He realized that men who have this great physiques, these looks, attract respect from other men and women. So once he realized that, he wanted that respect and love and fame and attention from women and men, for money purposes, for love purposes, for fame, whatever it is. Once he learned what his mission is, and once he learned what works, he adapted to that as a 9 life path. And once he adapted, he actually became the star of the fitness industry. So what you realize with 9s is that they're very intelligent. So if you look at the shape of 9, by the way, every single number has a very has a certain significance of within its shape. Okay, we'll get into that in a minute. The 9 has a big head and a tail. Okay, I don't know which way this recording will play, so I'll do this, this, and this. No, it's like a number 9. Okay, so it's a big head and a tail. And nines have a big ego. Oh, my screen's enough. So nines have a big ego. Nines are also very intelligent. Um, Intelligence start with the I, and I is the ninth letter within the alphabet. So nines are very intelligent and they have a big ego. So once the nine adapts, using its adaptability skills and using its intelligence, it has an ability to actually get better than its master. Okay? Many nines get better than most people at a certain thing. You know, I'll say John McAfee. If you know who John McAfee is, it's it's the founder of the antivirus McAfee software. If you know what you've probably heard of it, it's everywhere. He's born on a 9 day. He's on one life path, but he's born on a 9 day. And that intelligence, he used that intelligence to create one of the first ever, if not the first ever antivirus software on the computer. Okay? So nines are very intelligent and they get better than most people fast. So nines have a big ego, and I would say they have a big ego for a reason. Some of them, not all, because nines have in general have a big ego, but some nines have in their ego just by being better than most or learning what works, and they adapt to it so quick and so intelligently they just get better than most people, and that's how it works. So I'd say nines are the younger souls, but they're they're underrated in my opinion. You know, most people would say nines are just the older souls, so like, leave them to the side. Like, nah, nines are intelligent. Nines adapt. And there's nothing to be ashamed about being a young soul. You know, we all gotta start somewhere. I'm not a 9 like 5 myself. I'm a 3, which is still like one of the younger souls because it goes from 9 to 3. You know, I'm still a young soul. I've still got a lot to learn. But nines, you can't you can't underestimate them. Nines are much more intelligent than 3. Threes have got a different mission. Nines have got a different mission. Just because someone's a young soul, you can't think that they're worse. Okay, because everyone starts somewhere. Everyone's been in first grade. Everyone's been in elementary school. You know, everyone's been in elementary school and then they had to pass to the last grade. Everyone's been there. Everyone's gonna go through that process. You can't just blame them for being who they are. Okay. I'm sure there are better nines and I'm sure there are worse nines. Okay. And I'm not gonna go into the worst nines because let's focus on the positive side of people. And if you want to know more about the 9, you can find that. Um, if you look into Gary the Numbers Guy or GG33 in general, the group, you'll learn more about the 9 because he's really small info about that. But this is a very positive video, and I'm only going to talk about ascension, what most people can do to ascend. You know, I mean, if you want to know about the truth about the 9s, is that they have a big ego and they tend to have addictive personalities. But that's what I'm going to say. So once you beat your addiction, uh, you use your intelligence and adaptability to adapt to good people, you'll find success, and you'll get even better than those you follow in the end. So what I'd say about numerology is that it'll only go as far as the work you put in. Okay, so you can set your life up into a direction where you're ready to blast off, but you are in charge of actually setting up the rocket, setting up the fuel, blowing it up a few times until you eventually reach space, if you know what I'm talking about. But the destination and the direction that you put your energy into is based off numerology. So when people say, um, when people say to me, you just put in the work, it's not one day, it's day one. Like I understand that, and I understand the motivation. You should like for example, you should work out every day. You know, like even if it's a 7 day and sevens are not the best physically, you should at least like go easy on that day. But you should still like try to push yourself either way, even if it's a 7 day. Maybe work out half an hour less and focus those other 30 minutes into studying, because sevens love studying. But in general, numerology will just go as far as your effort at the end of the day. So going into the number two. Now there is no such thing as a two life path. So we've talked about life path like 5-10 minutes ago. Life path is added up to your day, your month, and your year. So let's do a calculation real quick. So my birthday is 6th of August 2005. So it is the digits 6, 8, 2, and 5, because we don't add the zeros. So it's 6, 8, 2005, but we don't add the zeros, so it's 2 and 5. And that adds up to a 21. Now, to find your life path, you must reduce the number to a single digit number or a master number. So if your life path adds up to 11, 22, or 33, stick to that, don't reduce it. And if your life path has a 2-digit number, but it's not a 11 or a 22 or a 33, you should reduce it. Unless it's a 29, then you're an 11. Unless it adds up to a pure 20 to 0, you're still an 11. Any other than that, like other ways to calculate your life path, I'll go into in other videos. But in this video, probably it's like a simplified version for the beginners. You should reduce the number. So mine adds up to 21. Reduce it to 2 plus 1, which is 3, which is a 3 life path. So I'm a 3 life path, born on a 6th day. Now, the importance by order of your numerology, which is 1, your life path, 2, your day born, 3, your month born, and 4, the year that you're born. Day of the year that you're born. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so going back into it. Money spread. Okay, going back into the video. So, as a 3, my main mission is to communicate and be creative. It's to network. It's to meet as many people as possible. Look at the shape of the 3. It's very expressive. It's very outgoing. It goes from inside to outside. It's very extroverted. Just look at the shape of the 3. Close on one side. So imagine like the back of the 3 is your back, and the front of the 3 is very expressive. It goes out. Okay, so when you think of the 3, they're very childish, because 9 is the infant, 3 is a child, so 3s are very childish. They're very giddy. They daydream a lot. You'll find a lot of things like thinking about something else. Like you'll find that the kids in class that daydreamed a lot, they wasn't really paying attention in school, or they have ADHD. Most people who have ADHD, they're just born on the 3rd, 21st, or the 30th of the month, or they are a 3 life path in general. Okay, so most 3s are diagnosed with ADHD because they can't focus on one thing. Most 3s have to focus on two things at once. That's the way they do things. They need to have two focuses because the attention splits very easily. They go both ways, and they have a difficulty with finishing their projects that they've started. Okay, most threes have a difficulty with that. So threes, if they're not expressive, they are very creative. So rappers like Snoop Dogg, he's like a very, very famous rapper. He's a three life path. Kevin Hart, he's a comedian. Creativity mixed with expression. He's a three life path. Rihanna, she's the three life path, another singer, a very, very A-list celebrity singer. So most people who are threes have that combination of either being very expressive and knowing a lot of people. Most people who are threes, they find their friends as associates, not really close friends, but those associates, find them as very good friends because threes are very likable. You know, everyone, everyone cherishes that child quality that it brings them back into the childhood, and that makes you very likable. You smile a lot, you laugh a lot, you laugh at jokes so easily, you make up jokes so easily, you make people laugh in general. Um, what I'd say about the three is that they're very fun to be around. You know, it's very fun to be around myself too because I make myself laugh on a daily basis. Like, I'll just sit there alone and I'll just think of a random joke that I've like made or somebody that made me laugh. Like a few weeks ago or a few months ago, even years ago, and it still makes me laugh to this day when I think of it. I have a very broad imagination, and it's very realistic. So I can imagine myself in very realistic scenarios in my head. Threes are very creative. They they have an imagination which is so realistic. You can imagine things with a very high realism, and you can use that towards manifestation too, because the better you can imagine a future scenario, or the better you can imagine yourself doing a thing which brings you success, or the thing that you do that is passionate, brings you passion, brings you fulfillment in life. Threes can imagine that on a completely different level than anyone else. So this will be the end of this video about numerology. These are the basics. And this is what made me understand numerology at a completely different level. And what made me believe in numerology is using these things, using this knowledge, and then applying it to other people. So start giving your family readings. Go and find some numerology calculator, type in your friend's birthday, type in your mother's birthday, type in your brother's birthday, and their life path. And based off what I've said, or based on what other people say in numerology, use that and you'll convince yourself. Good luck. I love you. Bye. Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.